So what's the move? Is there a move? Right now, the Braves have 23.4 million left on the payroll just to make it where they would have made it in 2020 under normal circumstances. So they could hold back. In theory, they could hold back. I don't think they will, just because of that huge revenue drop in 2020 due to the COVID. But I doubt it. I think the Braves are going to spend some money and either get some pieces or have some pieces return, i.e. Shane Green, Mark Melancon, and Adam Duvall. Off the books this year, you got Cole Hamels, $18 million, Mike Foltynewicz, $6.425 million. That's a combined $24 million for two guys that both played in only one game last season. Obviously there were extreme circumstances, but that's $24 million you got coming off the books. That's at this point free money. So Mark Melancon, $14 million, Shane Green, $6.25. Those are the big two guys, and I think you could probably get a deal on that. You could probably get Melancon a lot cheaper. I don't think his value is holding up quite what it was. I mean, $14 million is a lot for a reliever. I think Shane Green's more valuable than Mark Melancon. I think you might be able to get Melancon on a $7 million deal. That's about what the market estimate is. I looked up today. Greeny, I think he's a $7-8 million guy annually, and Tyler Flowers is also gone. He will likely be replaced by a rookie catcher. If I had to guess right now, Williams Contreras. If you haven't seen that guy, go look up his highlights. He's a guy that, of course, his brother's Wilson Contreras. We all know him. But I think Williams Contreras has all the potential in the world to be great behind the dish. He'll only be making $500,000. So you go from paying $4 million to $500,000 right there just at the catching position. So Nick Markakis is off the books, $4 million. Adam Duvall, $3.25 million. So those are two viable, cheap bench options. So they also have history with Atlanta, so who knows? They might take an Ozuna deal where they come in cheaper. Nick Markakis has done that multiple times. I'm sure he'd be open to doing it again. Adam Duvall is a guy that I think has prospered in Atlanta. I think he's a guy that probably, if I was Adam Duvall's agent, I'd want him back in Atlanta just because of how successful he was here. Obviously, he's got to get paid, but you get what I'm saying. Also off the books, Darren O'Day, $2.25 million. He's already signed elsewhere. So that's $58 million total coming off the books. And I know you're going to ask, why didn't we go get Bauer? We got all this money laying around. Why didn't we go get Bauer? There's more to it than that. Acuna increased his salary from $1 million to $5 million. Albies increased his salary from $1 million to $3 million. Fried increased $500,000 to $3.5 million. Soroka increased $500,000 to $2 million. Swanson, $3.5 million to $6 million. You see what I'm saying? That's $13.5 million right there. So Marcell Ozuna also made $18 million last year. The deal they just made, it's smart. It's actually backloaded, so he'll get paid more in the years to come than he will this year. This year they're only going to pay him $12 million, so that allows Alex Anthopoulos a little bit more freedom to go get some of these free agents. It's another $6 million free to use by the front office. So it's a backloaded contract, so they're paying more later. That allows them to make moves that need to be made now, and I think they're going to make them. They didn't want to pay Marcell Ozuna a lot now because they want to make those moves. So if you try to tell me they don't want to make these moves, I beg to differ. I think those moves are already in the making. I think Mark Melancon, Shane Green, not to say they're definites, but I think Shane Green is certainly a priority, and I think it certainly could happen. So the Braves' total payroll at the moment is $128.5 million for 2021. That may not be significant to you. Let me elaborate. That is well below $152 million. So 152 to 128. That's what 2020 would have been. So the Braves are far from done. That's just to get to what 2020 would have been. You know what I would like to see happen. I've pretty much laid it out. I think Shane Green will happen, and I think a bench piece is evidently in the plans. I think Alex Anthopoulos has said he'd like to add relievers, and he'd like to add a bench piece. He's certainly got the cash to do it. I think you might see more than that. Maybe you re-sign both Melancon and Green. It's shocking, again, to see them still available. But let's be real here. It was shocking to see Marcell Ozuna still available too. So you got to think those talks are taking place with those relievers. And it's also been eerily quiet around Adam Duvall. And, I've been an Adam Duvall guy since the start of the offseason. I think Adam Duvall could return. I think what happened, I was shocked to see him not get arbitration. That really surprised me. I had a whole, not to say rant, because I rarely disagree with Alex Anthopoulos. I think he's a very smart man. I think he's a very good general manager. However, it surprised me. The only thing that makes sense is that both player and team mutually agreed to let him test free agency. That is the only thing I can see, and maybe circle back, later in the offseason, and the Braves can give him a new deal. Let him test his worth. I don't mind it. After the year he just had, it would. You can't tell me teams aren't reaching out to the guy. Your NL home run leader had 18 homers. Adam Duvall had 16. Okay, he's a. You can tell me all you want that he's a streaky hitter. He's not reliable against what so and so pitching. I'm not buying it. The guy's a good hitter, and he had a heck of a year last year.